Richie Bolus.
Here.
Norman Brown. Austin Fan. Ricky Greenberg.
Here.
Philip Lim.
Here.
Michael McCann.
Here.
Tony Ogles.
Here.
Eva Warden. Shan Womack.
I guess that does have a quorum, so we'll go ahead and keep going. Guess we have no public comment? No, don't see anybody.
Receive no public comment.
All right. Everybody should have received a copy of the February minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Is there a motion approved? A second? In a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Staff report.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys again making time to come meet with us. Especially you, Richie. I know you had something on your schedule, so I appreciate you getting that moved around. We don't have too much on the docket today, just cover a little bit of old business and then some new business. The old business would be, I know we're kind of beating this horse here, as far as rewriting our electrical ordinance to kind of update it as far as testing requirements and our license requirements. I don't have too much news on that. This first page in the packet that I gave you guys was some research I've been doing on kind of what other jurisdictions have. So I know at the board's request, y'all asked me to reach out to Metro. I did take a field trip to Metro a month or so ago. Spent 3 or 4 hours down there, just kind of in their codes office, trying to see what they're doing. They didn't have anybody on the electrical staff in the office at the time, but I got a name. I think his name was Jeremy. I emailed and called him back and forth. So it was pretty, I laughed when I was talking to him, but it's pretty similar to our situation. I mean, exactly similar. He's not accepting anything but the state CE test, and they don't have their own test anymore. So they're pretty much in the same boat that we've been in. And he's like, he ain't had time to rewrite their ordinance. So they're in the exact same boat we're in, where, like I said, they don't have their tests, and they're pretty much just accepting the state CE. So then we gave some other places like Knoxville, Chattanooga, Kingsport, Hendersonville, Gallatin, Cookeville, Athens, Tennessee, Maryville, Franklin, Jackson. They issue their own permits, whether you have a state CE or LLE. So there is no, they don't have their own city license, I guess is what you could say on that. Clarksville, Memphis, Kingsport, Chattanooga, they have their own license. Clarksville has what they call a certificate. It's pretty much like a license. Clarksville is currently, from what I can see, doing what we're kind of proposing. You know, the whole take your state license, you come in, you still got to get a Murfreesboro City license. You know, we can still cite you before the board. You still got to follow our guidelines. But if you take the state test, you can come in and get a CE, and then they also have that lower LLE. So that's kind of what we had talked about 3 months ago. Again, we don't have anybody pressuring us right now, so I think we just kind of do some more research. Maybe get with you guys and maybe present something back in the next meeting. I don't know if y'all thought about it for 3 months. I don't know if y'all have any ideas or how we proceed, but like I said, Metro is pretty much in the same boat we're in. They're only accepting the state CE.
So they won't accept our license anymore?
Yeah.
They reciprocate to the Murfreesboro?
Yeah, they do reciprocate, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But as far as, you know, them having their own test, they don't have it. You go take the state test, only the state CE test. Then you go to them, they give you a Metro license. And then
If somebody wanted a Metro license, they don't test just for Metro then.
Right, but Metro does not have their test, their own individual test. So again, their ordinance is written exactly like ours, and it's just funny how none of us, you know, these things were written 25 years ago, and that's just not what's going on. And like I said, we can make it work, but I'm a big fan of making our ordinance match what we're actually doing. And it's interesting to look through and how some of these are going about that. Like Knoxville, the very first one, they used to have the electric board in exam, but they're going to the registration, which is basically like what Clarksville did, and just saying you got to come register as a City of Knoxville licensed electrician, but they're taking the state CE and the LLE. And then I also I don't think we have it right now. But I found it interesting, some of these had like plant manager certification, like electrical certification. And I kind of thought, the guy that came before us last month, or 3 months ago, he's never submitted all this stuff. He hasn't pulled any permits with us yet. But I thought, well, we got some YoPlay and companies like that have their own guy. Maybe that's something that we look at, having, a certification. You go before the board, but it's like a plant operator certification. So like I said, doing more research, there's a lot of ideas out there that we can lean on and make a decision in the future. We're not trying to make a decision right now on it, but they're good ideas, and I think we need to get something nailed down here in the next meeting or two. And I'll try to get something drafted up. But any direction on that, you guys, I appreciate it, whether it's here or an email later, like, hey, this is what I'm thinking.
Do we have anything in the ordinance now, like for a plant? I know years back, we used to do a lot of work at Whirlpool, and we worked under basically their electrical engineering.
Yeah.
And so we didn't pull permits inside the plant or anything we did there, but I didn't know how that's working now.
I don't think we got anything here.
I thought Mr. Chairman, I thought that when we were in Murfreesboro, city of Murfreesboro, one of the things that came out a lot, it was like I'm going to use the yoga plan or even the MTSU. They have what called an industrial electrician. People who actually work within the group. And I remember recollecting that one of the conversations we had was, we rather have that than not have anybody. Like for example, they said the bowling man want to do work. That's fine. We look at you as a contractor, but the guy actually goes around and refurbish the line or electrical line, all this thing. Then you need at least let us know the full permit, because you don't want to get him to do illegal work. Then of course people start stretching it. Now I got IE, I can do a little bit of moonlighting. Not really, it's just within that. And the company actually has to provide a letter to us that they are actually doing the work within, and also they carry our own liability insurance. I remember the conversation came about, but where we landed with that one, I do not know, but that was when Robert's still around.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything in here, but I'll go back and, like I said, dig a little deeper. There may be, it may be in another section that I haven't memorized yet, but I wonder oftentimes how many people are, at YoPlay, how much is going on without anybody knowing.
Yeah.
And one, they probably are in a hurry. Two, they probably don't want to deal with us, which, but if you have something like that, we're like, hey, if you have your own guy inside the plant, just, we can certify him as your industrial engineer.
Yeah. Industrial technician, electrician, I think we may have that. You might talk to people in Memphis. I was on the board for 16 years over there, and that's how we regulate people who work for FedEx and people who work for all this big plane. Kimberly Hornies and Kimberly Clark is another one that makes tissue paper on the Rosa. And I just think of all the different groups that we had. It's just, if you don't manage it, we're just going to get to the point where they say, well, they can just do anything within the building.
Right.
And if something catches on fire, then who does the work? Not a bad thing to have, especially when we are growing so fast.
Yeah, I think now's the time, like I said, here's our opportunity to get it right, do what we feel is best.
If you talk to Memphis, who you talk to? The chief must still be there, but
I haven't talked to Memphis. I went to their website and got their information, but I have not talked to anybody in Memphis.
All those people who used to serve on the board with me, they're either retired or gone. So, but you can ask them. I know that we had a classification over there when I was over there.
Okay. You guys got any thoughts or follow up on that, or before we?
I was just gonna make I was just gonna, one of the things that we look at, I was looking at the fee structure. Pretty cheap to me, I think. But at the end of the day, where we are, we want to kind of spur growth and everything. But when I was on a licensing board, like PE board, every time we do a rule changes, a street fee, we have to do a economic impact study. So there might be something that will work for you to discuss with our finance group. You see, is that reasonable? You don't want it to be too expensive. You don't want it little. You want to cover your costs, that's all. But I think we're not here. We're here to promote quality of life, to promote, to encourage people to come here.
So that brings me, that's a good segue. I don't know if you cheated and looked at page 2 or 3, but page 2 or 3.
So I saw your column there. Yeah.
Talked about raising fees. So page 2, I believe, is the way it's labeled. It says electrical permit costs. That's for our commercial. And then the one on the back is residential. So we got two tables, commercial, residential. I took it out of our our adopted fee table. And this is just a jumping off point, guys. This isn't like set in stone. I'm not married to these. These are just, me kind of looking at it. I put Clarksville's whole electrical ordinance in here, because that just has some good information overall. Mount Juliet, like I told you guys, I was gonna make like something where it was very simple for us to compare, but everybody does it so differently. It's hard to put in a table. Mount Juliet, and you guys may be more familiar with this than I am. It looks like they're charging per outlet, per plug, $5.70 for the installation of 10 and 50 cents. And that just gets, to me, that gets insane. For you guys to know, electric range, $19, water heater, $15, electric dryer, every individual. I don't want to do anything like that, but I just wanted you guys to see the prices.
Yeah, I'd have to hire somebody just to pull permits. That's all they do.
That's what Metro used to do it.
Yeah, I know.
I think Metro still kind of made do that, actually.
You had to form, had to go in there and start filling all that out. You get into a big building, it'd take forever.
The inspector in there counting all of them too. Be sure that that's 50 cents on
No
it.
Franklin will.
Yeah. I'm not going to send a guy in there, and we're counting. And you guys, how do y'all know how many switches are in there? Y'all have no idea.
You don't till you get through, and then you add.
Yeah.
If you got a set of drawings, you still add to it, so.
Yeah. Somebody's going to want a TV mounted somewhere. They do low voltage. I'm not proposing charging low voltage. I'm not, again, Smyrna, I believe Smyrna kind of copied us originally, kind of what we had proposed. Theirs are pretty similar to ours. Their HVAC, again, is $35 per unit. So that is one thing that I don't like currently in our adopted fee structure is it says per unit, and the way it's written, it actually goes, there's like a footnote on a table, that actually goes to the second page. So you don't realize to turn the page, you don't really see that footnote, but currently right now, if you have 5 HVAC units on a house, which you're not going to have that, but it's still $30 for the whole house. We don't charge per unit. So the number I threw out was 50 actually per each unit, which again, the start point. So I don't know if we want to keep it actually per dwelling unit, or do we want to go per each individual HVAC unit? So if you look on the residential one, I changed the top from unit to dwelling because it just gets confusing. Because when you're talking about this, you're talking about somebody's talking about HVAC unit, somebody's talking about a housing unit, and your language gets mixed up pretty quick.
We did some apartments in Smyrna, and they had a split system. We had to pay a permit for the inside unit and the outside unit.
Yeah, I would look at that as one.
Yeah, I did too, but one, they didn't.
Yeah, no. So pretty much on what I did in the beginning, and then like I said, we got Gallatin, which Gallatin, whoa. I think I did some rough math on Gallatin, and I think electrical permit for a house would be about $700, $800. There's 20 cents per square foot under beam. So, the average house is 2,800 square foot that we build now in Murfreesboro, but that's not counting unconditioned space. So, if they're counting garages and everything like that, your average house is probably about 4,000 square feet with porches and times 0.20. So that's $800 right there. And then you got to go and add your tent pole and all that other stuff. That may be closer to a $900 permit. So on the residential, on the bottom, I kind of did some easy math. So if we have two HVAC units, like I said, that would count as one unit the way it's currently written. Your permit's about $145. And that's going to be your base fee, your $80, 200 amp, and then probably your tent pole. So it gets you about $145 total. So kind of what I threw out there, it'd go up to $250 for a new home. But the main thing there, that's going to be, a lot of that's your HVAC cost, because you're going to be charging per unit instead of per dwelling unit. So that's what kicks that price up there. So again, this is why I'm right in front of you guys just to discuss. Totally open to you guys as far as recommendations. I just tried to get some numbers on a piece of paper for us to jump. But in general, everything just got raised $20. Because right now base fee at $35, or I think a rough end tent pole $30. And we're paying our guys over $30 an hour. And then time you count truck and gas, no different than you guys. It's, if we fight traffic, get out there to look at that, we'll be lucky that we're probably losing money on that, honestly.
Me too.
So we're not trying to make money, but we're just trying to kind of cover the costs. And like I said, the grand scheme of things, I just kind of just threw $20. But if y'all see any numbers that y'all want to say looks out of the ordinary, again, this is just completely open discussion here, what you guys are thinking. If there's another inspection you guys want to add, like on the commercial one, we don't have a ditch inspection. Now, we have a ditch inspection on our application, and we just charge it like a road.
Right.
But we actually don't have a ditch inspection adopted by the ordinance. And I thought, well, we do that so much, that may be a good thing to get clarified and get in there. So if you see any inspections like that, that we want to add in there, we can go ahead. Some of these, like Gallatin, they get so crazy. Fiber optics, hotel per floor, hotel sub-panel. I don't think we want to, I think what we got works for our community. I think it was a good math that you guys set out years ago. So I don't think we need to tweak that. Just kind of looking at the prices.
The only thing, Chief, with that, I was just thinking about all the electric vehicle and all the solar that people are putting in their houses. I think even though we might say that it's just a regular electrical inspection, I think is our inspector really looking beyond the interface? I don't know. If it takes time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The former fire chief came to me not long ago, and probably a couple of years back before he retired, he said that we got electric charger in this building here, parking garage. When those car catch on fire, you and I know you can't kill those battery fires.
Yes.
So the question will be that now more and more people are having electric vehicles. We incentivize with MTE with it. If you be a new builder, you put a 240-volt receptacle in your garage for future EV use, we give you a $50 check just for doing that. I know it's not much, but it's just. So with that say, I know does that means that the inspector will have to spend a bit of time looking around? I just don't know.
I think our guys are going to look at it. I mean, I don't know if we want to make a separate inspection. I think it's still just part of your rough in, final, and all that. To me, there's no reason. I don't think we're going to get money back because you put that in, but I don't think we need to charge extra for that. Just still your rough in, final.
Do we need to look at the low voltage inspections? I mean, do we need to consider it, or what's the?
I don't recommend. I think we stay away from that.
Okay.
We don't permit low voltage right now.
That is a huge pain.
Yeah. Franklin's the only one that does it.
Metro.
Do they still do it?
And the problem is we may not have anything to do with any of the.
Well, they're tied together as far as electrical. I mean, would you have to call it in, like, when the low voltage is done?
Well,
somebody
that's
comes
the
out and inspects all of
problem.
it?
Whoever, and they'll tie cable TV, anything low voltage, security, that we may not have anything to do with,
Yeah,
but
right.
they'll hold the electrical permit.
That's low
Because
voltage.
that hadn't been pulled. So our contractors just screaming at us, and the owners screaming at us, and they don't understand. I don't have anything to do with that. Well, go pull the permit. I'm not pulling that permit, I didn't want to work. And so it just,
Those low voltage guys, a lot of them, I mean, crap, I did it in my house,
Mhm.
right? So I don't even know if those guys are even certified. They're nothing, you know? So I don't want to put that, I don't want to put something back on our electricians that they don't even do the work.
Right. The only thing I have seen is where they'll run low voltage, same hose and stuff like that the electric's going through, where I guess they're not supposed to be there. So,
Yeah.
but usually the electrical inspection.
Hopefully our guys.
Yeah, well, they may be done before the low voltage is just put in.
Yeah.
well, they usually catch it on the final.
Mhm.
And of course, what they're normally catching, and I know Lee Douglas used to really push for it a lot.
Mhm.
And because what he was finding, he'd find a piece of number 18 or 22 wire stuck out of the wall
Mhm.
with a transformer on it plugged into a plug.
Mhm.
And which is, that's not good.
Right.
And so that's what they were pushing for, and because I've always said, well, you catch it, you unplug it, and then, don't let it,
Mhm.
you're already getting paid to do it. So.
Right.
Yeah, the other one was, I think several years ago, there was kind of a building on fire, and then the fireman got killed because the low voltage cable, like the spaghetti, and then collapsed on them, and they wouldn't get out of there. So I think Memphis actually, I was on the code at the time, code board, and the fire department actually spoke up and said that we want to look at how you actually secure those. Wow. Even I do agree with Bowling here, said that, electricians don't really do the work, but
Gallatin charges $150 for low voltage. That's a rough end and a final. Mount Juliet is $40 per inspection for low voltage. Other communities have it. I just don't feel right now that it's.
Yeah, and I hated being tied with I know they want to go out there at the same time.
Yeah.
To take care of all of it, but it does suck having it tied in with the electrical too.
I mean, if that's something that, maybe I don't want to slow you guys down. I didn't know if that's something that we could say, your low voltage has to be in before we're going to do your inspection. Just so our guys can lay an eye on it, kind of like what Philip's saying, at least we see it. But again, that could be somebody that's not.
It gets back to the contractor calling, won't know why it hadn't been done.
One thing I do want to recommend that we stay away from any kind of square footage pricing, because, like the Gallatin, the first time we run upon that, we was doing a 500,000 square foot warehouse that was basically just a shell. We didn't even have the interior built out or anything. It cost me $50,000 to buy that permit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We're not trying to do that.
Yeah, I mean, and there was no
getting around it, yeah.
No getting around it. Luckily, our general contractor knew what, he went back for us, and was able to go back to the owner and help us out.
Yeah.
But that was a shock to know. I mean, probably had 10 high bay fixtures and a 2,000 amp service, and you had just the base fee was 50. Then you start adding the service, the panels, and everything else that went to it. I mean, it was $60,000 or $70,000 worth of permit fee.
Yeah.
That was never broadcast, or we never had anything on it or anything. Here we are, did the job, walk up there, and whoops.
So, I heard actually this morning, and I made this a few days ago, that the state's looking at raising theirs. I don't know if you guys have heard that. So I don't know what they're going to. I think they're going to have a meeting soon on it, kind of throw that out there. We're pretty much dead on with the state right now, $35 a rough. I think that's what the state charges. I've heard they were talking about going to 50. Again, that was before I even came up with these numbers. So they could be pretty accurate. I did talk to our guys this morning about it. Kyle Berry, sat down with him, kind of just said, hey, they didn't know I was doing this. I just said, I'm looking at raising fees for everything, not just electrical, just across the board, just, building permit. We haven't raised them in over 6 years. I guess I got peer pressure. Smyrna raised theirs, Rutherford County raised theirs. They did research, and they're like, wow, you haven't raised yours in forever. I was like, well, let me take a look at it. So we were kind of low in some categories. I think plumbing, we're kind of right. We were kind of on the top end anyways. Electrical, we were low. Building permit, we were low. So across the board, looking at maybe 15%. But anyways, I sat down with Kyle this morning. Kyle recommended that we do $100 across the board for all pools, whether it's above ground or in ground. Right now, I had above ground at $80. Like I said, I just kind of went up $20 on everything. In ground for $100. He said that actually would include 2 rough ends and a final. I know right now the way the ordinance says, it says 1 rough end, but he says he goes out, I guess does a ditch or a halo.
Yeah.
So he said he's actually doing kind of 2 rough ends and a final. And then the safety, like electric safety inspection, I had wrote 50, again went up 20. He had wrote 75 with a question mark. I know that those guys, so your homeowner can pull your electric safety, they kind of use us as a punch list guy before they call you guys. And Kyle's like, I've been out there and I've spent an hour and a half with people walking through a house before. He just said as far as time wise, he recommended $75 for a safety. So that was just his thoughts. But again, like I said, I'm open to anything that you guys see, and even if there's something later y'all want to think about it or email me like, hey, maybe we should do this, maybe we lower something or we raise something, whatever you guys are.
I don't see a problem with anything. People are going, if you go up $2, they're going to be upset over it. It don't make any difference.
Yeah. Like I said, for your average new house, I mean, it's $100, but that main cost is because we're going to split out HVAC units. So instead of 30 for your house, it'd be 50 per unit. So if you have 2 units, that's $100. But if you only had 1, well, then it's only $20 more than you were paying for the HVAC.
We typically don't permit the heat and air anyway.
They never got that.
Yeah.
Only thing I would, maybe really specify on your AC units so we don't run into the same issue down the road where they're saying, hey, that's 1 unit up, because you have a disconnect up and you got a disconnect out, that's 2.
Yeah.
Just to specify exactly what that.
What would be a good way to write that so it's clear?
It'd be a complete unit, I would say.
Or system maybe.
Or complete, yeah.
System, look at it as a system.
Yeah.
You get into some of those little Mitsubishi units that may have 3 heads on 1 compressor.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, you don't count physical number. Yeah. Just look at it as a system. I do have a question, just in general. What happens if you have a XYZ company comes in here and they're going to hire 2,000 jobs, and then they're going to be running some kind of a semi-tracking company? Do you treat them, the permitting for the building, does that treat them like a commercial, or just case by case?
I think commercial.
Commercial.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, for example, like UPS, FedEx, they might
Yeah.
come in here.
Yeah. I still just be commercial. I mean, we go off the commercial rates. Some of these commercial rates, I'm not trying to die on a hill on this thing, but compared to others, they're pretty low.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of what Philip was saying, if I send Jimmy Pete to go look at a FedEx, by the time he stops at the office, gets on a golf cart, shuttles him around, looks at a 1 million square foot building, is a $50 rough end for that, or $100 rough end? I mean, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But again, I wasn't out here to try to. I'm just trying to keep up with a little bit of a cost. I'm not trying to go crazy. But if that's something that we want to look at.
Can you do commercial based on, going back to square footage, up to like from 0 to 10,000 square foot building, 10,000 and up, and just change your permitting, not really based per square foot, but just gross square footage of the building?
Based on the range.
that's, I would be fine with any of that, as long as you know up front.
Yeah.
But, you can't go from, $100 to 50,000.
Yeah.
Or go from $100 to $1,000 or $500, or, pay a day's labor or
Right.
whatever, and you might even look at that.
Typically, those big buildings going to have a big service in them. So you could go per amp maybe.
Well, you're pulling a bigger,
Yeah.
it's not a whole lot, but you're paying more for that bigger service.
Right. I was just thinking a lot of development along 24 exit, where the Costco is.
Yeah.
You call it a big box. your U-Haul there, your hospital, those would be a little bit good statistic we collect, see how much we actually collected those buildings.
Yeah, we can go back and look at these buildings, pull them, just see what we were getting on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'd be good. To me, I think that when somebody's challenged the board, we need to have a basis.
Yeah.
This is what our thought process, this is what we're thinking through. Right or wrong, we have a consistent process.
I don't mind getting you guys that information, and shoot you guys out an email, a group email saying this is, you know, these are some similar facilities like a U-Haul or what we're charging at Costco.
And there's a cleaner that, the uniform place over there too.
So like Costco's there, you would get what, as far as a permit?
Precious, do you know what they normally get?
You'll probably get 2,000.
Well, you're probably just gonna get,
2,000 in this city.
1,000 amp, rough end, and you're gonna get your tent pole, 120.
Most of the time, we feel if it's us, we would pull maybe 5 or 6 rough ends on the front end.
Yeah.
And then just,
So you would divide the building up?
yeah, and we try to, like when we call inspector, we may try to catch 2 or 3 things at one time, maybe the HVAC units that we, you know, rooftop units were reading, and let him catch that and maybe a rough end or whatever at the same time.
So my residential is kind of included in your electric, your rough end and stuff. Commercial is kind of like, I don't say à la carte, but I think I'm gonna do 40 rough ends out here.
Right, okay.
And they'll buy 40 rough ends.
I got you.
You know, $30 a rough end. So it's kind of, you know, some contractors will try to piece it every time they call Jimmy P.
Right.
And some buy it and they run out and then
Okay.
come back and buy 5 more rough ends or whatever. But I thought it was funny on, kind of going to Richie's point on the Gallatin and the commercial. I like when it says service entrance, service release over 1,000 amp. It just says negotiated fee. Don't even have a, I was like,
Yeah, a lot of.
kind of.
Yeah.
That's
On
never
top
good.
of that square
On top
foot
of
price.
the 10 cents per square foot. So,
I tell you what I don't want to do is like the state, or county, and that 45-day limit on the service release. Do you not find that aggravating?
oh yeah.
And then have, you know, at the end go and you've gone over 45 days, go buy another service release extension permit, just so, and they don't, I just turn it in with the final just to give the inspector his $35.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really, I don't know, I just think that's,
Yeah.
I don't know why you limit it to 45 days. I didn't find that.
Yeah, Gallatin, they limit theirs to 90. So I don't guess we don't have a limit on ours. I'm not proposing a limit. I'm not proposing really anything too different, but
I think the state's 45 or 60.
60 on theirs, I think.
And that when you run past one, especially if you get on their bad side, they will let you know, hey, you owe me another permit. And they don't necessarily have to come out and look at it. Just go turn it in.
Yeah, they won't give you a fine until you pay it.
No. But whatever we do, we need to make sure we grandfather in stuff that's already, that
Oh,
we
yeah.
may have even been bid, but we don't have contract on or haven't pulled any permits.
yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, we could look at, first thought, I would say if it has initial building permit, but we could say, we could write it in a way that it would take effect in 60 days or whatever.
I think that's fair. Because then we can at least go to our people and say, hey, it's not, and of course, we're not talking about job-breaking money either, so.
No, a couple $100.
Yeah, but
So, but I mean, if you guys think, yeah, I mean, I'll shoot you guys some numbers for commercial, maybe even residential, and if you guys feel like existing and what it would be, if you guys feel that that's right, just let me know. And if you guys think, hey, you know, maybe we need to go up more, we can go up a little bit more. Or if you think a number just seems high, we can look at that too. But grand scheme, everything just kind of went up $20.
So do you have to go through the city finance before we take it to the council?
So what I'll do is I got to take everything to go to council. But I wanted to at least run this through you guys. I was trying to read that earlier. I don't think you guys will set the actual fees, but I appreciate what y'all do, and I want to get y'all the guidance, right? I want everybody to be on board before I don't want to take something to council and get it approved and come back to you guys and be like, hey, this is what we did. So
No, appreciate it, because we will definitely hear from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I sent him to Tony. Tony, I carry a stack of business card and then just give it out, you know, Tony.
Is that all it says on it, just Tony? Tony.
I just told him I work for a power company, so we, you know, we work for the government. Tony is a private company.
Well, that's all I got, guys. That took probably a little bit longer than I thought, but like I said, it's a good conversation.
I got a question, Mr. Chairman. Now, you know, the 2023 NEC cycle is out, right? So we still not adopting it. Is there any plan? Somebody asked me a question recently. I said we still use the 20. We still use the 2020.
What was it, 2011 and 2017 NEC? We're under 2017 right now.
2017. So we actually skipped one cycle.
Yeah, so we skipped, the NEC code throws me off.
It's always one cycle.
It's 1 year off the codes. So we're under the 18 codes, 17 NEC. We got to be 7 years current from the most published code.
Which is
That's the
2023,
state.
huh?
Well, as far as, yeah, I guess as far as building too, as far as building code. So
Yeah.
2024 is published. So we're under the 2018, so we're within 6 years. We're not over that 7 years. So when the 2027 code comes out, we'll probably go to 2024 building code.
Which is.
So we probably got another year and a half, 2 years.
So
before we're-
2024 building code will be 2023.
And then 2023 NEC.
NEC.
Unless there's something, you know, we can always amend out. I don't know if there's something in there that's just like crazy. But we can amend out, or we'll just, like I said, normally we're going to go to 2024 code and 2023 NEC based on the past 15 years of our track record of what we're going to do. So.
The only thing, there was a lot of focus in the technology like EV and solar. I think it's a section 650, I believe.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about electric vehicles.
Yeah.
So I don't know, if we're just gonna look at it as a building, whatever they plug in is which building, I think be okay. I mean, but we just don't need to get into a situation where, as a design engineer, I use this code and then you try to enforce another code.
So what I like to do personally is like if whatever current code we have right now, say there's really nothing in it about electric vehicles because it's 6 years old and stuff is advanced, you know, I'll lean on the new code. That doesn't mean we've adopted it, but that's a guidance for me. And I'm not gonna say you can't do it. Like, if it's in the code and I know we're gonna go to that code and it gives me a guidance, I'm probably gonna say, I'm all right with you guys using that code. You know, I'm not gonna heartburn over that we can't use that. But like a lot of things, like we look for guidance, the code coming up. So I'm doing right now the fountains out there on Med Center. They want to do a heavy timber building, right? Which we don't have any of those in Murfreesboro right now. There's a little bit in the code. They're doing more in Nashville. They did a 23-story heavy timber building in Milwaukee. So that's coming. But so I'm kind of looking forward in 2021 and 2024 code where I got more guidance, kind of reviewing that out, you know. So. But answer your question, we'll probably go to 2023.
In about a year and a half.
Probably about a year and a half. And then we'll all go together, right? Me and Tanya and Christy with Smyrna, we all talk. I mean, we're not going to one go and one not go.
Yeah, agree.
I mean, that's pointless for you guys. It's too hard.
You do any business with City of Franklin and all? I heard their code is pretty tough. Their department is pretty tough.
No, I don't talk to them that much. No. I mean, I know those guys. We meet them at meetings, but I don't. Again, I'm trying to say with what our county's doing. So, unless y'all see something there that Franklin's doing that y'all like, or another jurisdiction.
I don't say nothing.
That's what I thought.
They have more restriction than you really can shake it.
Yeah, we don't. I'm not in a
They
restriction.
have the right to do what they want to do, but,
We quit working, I won't go further.
We still have to, but you was talking about switches and how many is on there. You turn in a set of drawings there, if you get the right inspector, when he comes out and looks, if you've got an outlet either there or not there that's not shown on the drawings, he'll turn you down and say, well, so you got to go back to the engineer, say, hey, I put a receptacle in there, the only one we put a receptacle right there by that switch. He has to draw it in there and then resubmit the
Oh,
drawings.
that's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to stop as much growth as they can, but all they're doing is just, you know, making it hard. I mean, the affordability's out.
They're raising the cost, you know. Yeah, you can't tell me anybody that works over there is not raising their price to put the Franklin factor in it.
Yep. I like when somebody from Franklin moves here, they call you to do work, you know you can get 20, 25 more.
Where are you from? Franklin, okay, yeah, we got your number. We-
Just kind of contractor say, you live in Franklin? Okay, prices went up 50%. Just as a side note for, the Tesla supercharger, they've been deploying a lot. They just made an announcement, I think a couple of days ago, that they're laying off all the development teams. So basically, the supercharger coming to our city will be slowed down. The only set that we have is probably a Target here. But I thought they were pretty aggressive. They were moving very fast, rapidly, and whatever, they make an announcement and they pull back from the supercharger. So,
I think that Tesla laid a bunch of people off too.
and then, I mean, you're gonna see more and more as government money start to dim down a little bit, and I think, just like my friend that is a professor at Tennessee Tech, he's doing a lot of research. He said a level 2 charger, which is good enough for you, really. The supercharger is kind of like, do you want to hit your battery always with a supercharger, even though you might be fast, but you're talking about a whole lot more money. I just did one in Lebanon. It's $1 million project. Not my money, I mean the government money. So actually, it's my money, my tax money. So.
Okay.
Jim Ed
Good
Wood
meeting.
is Eva's son, if you want to call him.
What's his name?
Jim Ed.
I could probably get somebody from Team Electric, they sponsor our baseball team, so.
He's retained.
What about
Let's talk about
His son, you like this? I mean,
Yeah. Good guy.
He reached out to Precious and said something about being on the board. So again, Eva's term officially expires next month, along with Tony Ogle's term.
All right.
So you'll hear from me. You'll hear from me.
No, I mean, since you raised all the fee, he wants a price.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So Tony will hear from me here in the next few weeks. Eva, like I said, her term officially expires in June, so
It'd be
I'll
nice
reach out
to take him to lunch and have a talk with him.
we can,
Tell him to be quiet in the meeting.
maybe Saturday we go to Cars and Coffee together and have a talk.
I'll be there.
So, all right.
Any other business?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Thank you.